Meanwhile, in Genosha, Beast uncovers a buried alive Emma Frost.
Oh my stars and garters. The psychic isn't Madeline Pryor, it's Emma Frost. But she's in diamond form. It must be a second mutation. I never knew that you were able to turn into a diamond.
I've always done well under pressure.
I think she'll be fine. Take her away.
Here.
Oh,
Here.
Yes.
These have always brought me luck.
Oh, you're touching your breast. Very funny. Okay, all right. Let's take her away. See if she's okay.
Hey.
Oh, okay, yes.
I didn't know the 4 C's of diamonds were collapse, calamity, carnage, and claustrophobia. Am I right?
Okay, all right. I think she might have a brain injury. Let's
Hey,
get her.
you. You there in the visor.
What? Yes, it's me. I thought it was Madeline.
Are you as hard as I am?
What?
We're supposed to be fucking, Scott, you and I.
Okay.
You know, in the comics.
You know what? I don't need this right now. I have my wife, Jean, okay?
Okay, but first, stop me if you've heard this one before. A mutant, a human, and a priest walk into a bar.
All right, someone get her out of here.
Look at me, I'm flying diamond medallion on Delta.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 298 of CBQ Legacy Comic Book Queers. We're getting dangerously close to 300. And with me, as always, I'm Evil Jeff, and also we have Brett here.
Hi. Did you say
Hello.
with on me, as always?
I don't know. I'm having a stroke.
Freudian
On
slip.
top of me. Yeah, Brett.
You there in the visor. I want Emma Frost in X-Men 97 at one point to say, you there in the visor.
Yeah.
Who, me?
We're gonna talk about this because
I already know what you have to say.
Because
we'll talk about it.
Brett is living in a world of delusion, and I'm gonna break some of these delusions. Okay.
Oh, my delusions.
But we'll get to that. Today is just we don't have any hot topics. Do you have anything? How are you doing, Brett? Let's catch up.
No, I'm good. Everything's great. I'm coming up on some West Coast travel. Unfortunately, I won't be in LA. Otherwise, I'd come see you.
Oh, I know.
I'm going to San Diego and Las Vegas.
Oh, nice.
I'll be so close, but so far away from you.
I do want to go to Vegas again.
After the show, will tell you why I'm going to Vegas. It's wild.
Okay.
I also want you to give thought to a New York trip, maybe around some Comic-Cons. I don't know.
August? Isn't it August?
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I want to plan a trip to maybe like visit my family and then come up to FlameCon. Maybe.
Okay.
Because I still would love to pitch an idea of us being Emma and Jean for a panel.
Yes, I think we need to do that now. I'll just pitch it.
Yeah.
I'll just enter and I'll be like, fuck, we have to do it now.
Yeah. Let's fucking do it.
Okay.
And then we'll get it'll just give us also a fun opportunity to fully do cosplay. Like I have a long red wig. So I just need, although I have to shave. I feel so naked when I shave.
I know, me too. I hate it. I might be Emma with a beard.
Especially now that I've started dyeing my beard to get rid of my gray patches and I'm full ginger beard again.
Yay, Jean. That's a good Jean
really
beard.
Oh, should I be just Jean with a beard?
Jean with a beard.
Okay.
Hi.
She is a beard for Scott and
Thank
Wolverine.
You.
What?
We're Emma and Jean, and something happened, and Xavier did something to our brains, and we grew beards.
Yeah, we're on steroids. Or we were going through menopause. We're going through menopause.
Mutant menopause.
My second mutation is I just got 5 o'clock shadow. But things are good. I'm kind of feeling a little distraught with the state of the X-Men world, of the fact that we're probably going to be subjected to 3 super amazing, mind-blowing episodes of X-Men 97, and then it's just going to end. And then right after that, we're going to start with a new X-Men kind of reboot in the comics, and I'm probably going to hate it.
I'm probably going to hate it too. I've already seen the cover of the final Krakoan issue. Have you seen it? It's them walking into a gate with their backs to the camera. Remember how House of X #1 was Xavier, Jean, Magneto, Cyclops, Wolverine coming through a gate?
Yeah.
This is them now facing the other direction, leaving through the gate. And it made me very sad.
And I just hate the idea that it's like kind of being like just wiped away so that
well, I want to talk about that. Actually, let's get into the books because there is a moment with our friend Kafka that I want to address when we get to X-Men Forever #2.
How about we hit that music?
Hit the music.
I was reading X-Men comics in a cocktail bar. That much is true. Yeah.
I do want to bring up a beef with, I think this was the Fall of the X-Men cover from last week. I didn't go over.
Okay.
What was the X-Men cover that had Cyclops fighting Moira?
Yeah, that was for Fall of the House of X. That never happened.
I'm done. Because when I go and look up, like, what are the new comics that are out? I go to Fresh Comics and freshcomics.com, and it lists all the Marvel releases, but it also lists every cover. And there's about 10 covers for one book. And usually not a single cover is representative of what is actually happening inside the story. And I hate it. So I would like to put forth my piece of comic legislation that even if you do multiple covers, it either A, has to have a character in the story. I'm also sick of like, here's X-Men Forever, but we have a special edition Deadpool Gwen, or what's her name? Gwenpool. With Gwenpool on the cover. No, she's not in it. Like, what? Stop it. It needs to have something that's happening in the book or a character that's in the book.
It's false advertising. I'll go even further with these Pride covers that Marvel is doing.
Yeah, no faggots. No, I'm just kidding.
Where they're celebrating the allies. First of all, I love the promotional copy where they're like, we're looking beyond the LGBTQ plus community for Pride. I was like, oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah, how come there's not a straight Pride? We've decided to do straight Pride as well. Oh, great.
And it's funny, like the covers aren't as bad as the promotional copy sounded. The covers are a straight hero and a queer hero. And the queer hero typically is in the foreground and the quote unquote ally is in the background. So, okay, executionally, it's as good as I think it could be, except these are people who have no relationship. There is, I forget what the cover is.
There has never been an example of that person being an ally to the LGBT
or even
character.
Knowing the queer character.
Like who? Give me some examples. Who are
there's Rachel Summers and Daredevil. And I'm like, what the fuck?
They're like, they wear red. Yeah.
Matt Murdock has no idea who the fuck Rachel Summers is.
And she has no idea. The only time she's been in New York was to fucking kill Celine. She didn't have time to stop at Hell's Kitchen.
I think it's Daredevil. Yeah, it is. It's Daredevil and Rachel. I'm trying to find, Spider-Man and North Star. They don't know each other.
No.
Do they?
No. Well, he knows.
I mean, maybe they've interacted.
The I'm sure he knows who he is.
Yeah, but like, he's like, if you're like Spider-Man.
He wasn't invited to the wedding.
He wasn't invited to the wedding.
Yeah.
If you were like, Peter, name 20 X-Men, I don't think he would name North Star. I think he would be like, okay, the 05.
But if you asked him, you were like, hey, do you know any X-Men that take it up the butt? He might be like, oh, I think that Canadian fairy. And they're like, you can't call him a fairy. And he's like, no, I thought he really was a fairy. I read it in the comics.
And then even though with that homophobic remark, he's still an ally on these Pride covers.
Yeah. They should have had Sinister as one of the gay characters.
It's not too late, Marvel. I wish he was gayer on the cartoon. Okay, let's talk about.
He has a little bit of sass, but I think they can't.
They've sassed him up,
but they sassed him up. But he also was in the previous cartoon,
right? So you have to.
So you have to still honor. Yeah, you can't be complete. You can't go completely make a left turn.
I saw people on Twitter like, why did they put, what a mistake to put Quicksilver in there. He's not even a mutant. I'm like, fuck you. He's in the other seasons on X Factor as a mutant. Like, they don't give a shit what the comics continuity is, obviously. They're going by the show's continuity. Oh, I need to get into novels where people are smarter.
Yeah. But you know what? But then I feel like I'm the dumb one. Then
good. I want to be the dumb one for once.
I don't know, but I will tell you, I do want to read more novels, but here's the deal. I love reading comics and I don't have enough time to read a book and a novel and my erotica. And all right, and I know maybe the erotica is the one that should go because I do have my little Kindle right next to my bed and there's about 4 books that I'm always reading. But they are all enemies to lovers, gay people having sex. And I know, and Joe, my partner next to me, he has a pile of real books. Mine are on a Kindle. His are real books, so he's already superior to me. And he has Pulitzer Prize winning this, the New York Times best-selling this. Like, it's pathetic. And then I'm like, yeah, but these guys are blowing each other. Oh, and then also here's a comic with superpowers. I'm a garbage person, basically.
No, you're not. You're you. And that's okay. I read more the Joe type novel, but I am currently reading 3 novels and I'm halfway through each and I just will not pick up any of them again.
But you know what? That's still, you're trying. Oh my God. I just got a text. This is just talking about, since we're talking about X-Men and everything in general. I just got a text from Naveen, who you know, we went to Disney.
I love Naveen.
And Naveen would not start X-Men 97 because he wanted to rewatch all of the previous episodes. And I was like, just skip season 3. Just watch like the last episode. And he was like, no, I'm going to watch the whole thing. And he was like, I was like, have you not started the new X-Men 97 yet? And he's like, this 3rd season, it's real hard to get through. And I'm like, stop it. But he finally did. And he just texted me just a second ago. Fuck, I just binged all of the episodes 97? Of X97 in a row.
Oh my God.
I legit have cried multiple
times. On the
show. I'm not okay.
Get him on the show.
No, he's crying. He's having an emotional crisis.
I know. Now. That's why we should call him now. That's good ratings.
Oh my God. No, I'm going to leave him alone. He's going through a moment. He's going through a moment like we all have.
Precious Naveen. Should we talk about the comic books, namely Wolverine number 48?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we're done.
Wolverine 48. Basically, there's a huge elephant in the room, and the fact that they didn't address it, I just lost all respect for the comic.
What is it?
We brought it up last week. The fact that he cannot survive very long without his healing factor and adamantium.
Without his because of his adamantium, yeah.
And they just ignore it. And then their thing is, I don't need my powers because I'm going to wear an adamantium suit with the Miramatsu blades. I don't care.
I told you that's what he was going to get. I called that.
You did call that blade. Good. But then
that plot
he just has blade. A heavy. So he has heavy adamantium bones.
Heavy bones.
And then
now
he just is going to wear heavy adamantium armor without any of his powers.
Maybe the armor is like, it's like an exosuit, right? Maybe it's powered.
Maybe someone needs to do a little bit of fucking research on this.
Jesus fucking
book.
Christ.
And in the end, he's like, Sabretooth is escaping. And they're like, Doug gave us this death pod. Once we give this, it's over for Sabretooth. And then he's like, oh, I got out.
I got to tell you something. Sabretooth is way too overpowered in these stories. I am so sick of this like unstoppable Sabretooth.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, he's just like a fucking tiger. Like,
and he doesn't have adamantium. Does he have adamantium? Is it
he
lace?
doesn't have adamantium. No. You could break his bones. Like, why is he able to survive everything?
And But we also have, what's his Creed? What's his name? Graydon Creed?
Graydon Creed.
I'm from the future, so I can just kill all of these Sentinels, the Iron Man Sentinels, really quick. Didn't like that.
Don't like that. Again, the power levels of the Stark Sentinels are up to the writer.
And the idea of like overpowering these characters when this is a side story that will have no effect at all to any future stories, it's just like, nope. And then there's a bear attack. Do you think this is in reference to the TikTok trend? Have you heard the TikTok trend that's going on with bears?
Of what? No.
Apparently it's like people are asking women a question of like, would you rather be lost in the woods with a strange man or a bear? And all the women choose bear.
Oh, for sure.
And men are freaking out, being like, are you fucking crazy? A bear will fucking murder you. The man could be nice. The man could be nice.
Wouldn't be having this reaction.
And yeah, and all the women are then stitching that and being like, exactly. I would rather be able to bear than this person. But then there's a bear attack. And then he just gets that suit and it's just stupid. I mean, can we end this? Is this even going to end with Sabretooth being killed? How is he going to get his powers back?
I'm sure there's a repower gun, right?
If he gets a repower gun, then that's also stupid because then Moira would have used it on herself. I don't know.
Or like, is he going to die and then he'll pop up in the white hot room?
Okay, I think that is, but then they don't have, how have they been putting the exoskeleton on him though? You know what would be interesting? A non-adamantium Wolverine.
Oh, with no adamantium? Have we ever done this before?
No. Even when he's died on Krakoa, they put the adamantium back on when they grew him in the shell.
Yeah. And I'm like, does he even need the adamantium?
Also, can we bring it back? Wolverine. Was it Wolverine 1? Was it this the issue with Wolverine 1 where he had the fire blades? Was it this comic?
No. That was pre-Krakoa.
It was the pre-Krakoa. Fire Blade Wolverine.
You talking about Hot Claw?
Hot Claw. And then wasn't there Ghost Rider Wolverine too?
Helverine?
And then Old Man Wolverine. Remember when there was like 10 Wolverines?
Let me tell you something. Old Man Wolverine, a.k.a. Deadpool 3. The more and more I look at Deadpool 3, the more and more I'm like, oh, it's Old Man Logan.
Oh, well, they even intimidated that it seems like he killed all of the X-Men. There was an incident.
Which is what happens
that's the hot topic. There was a new Deadpool.
Oh, hit the music. What do we do? What do we do?
Hit the music now. We're going to have a topic in a topic.
We got some hot topics. Yeah.
Okay, Deadpool 3. We have more. This one is really, all of the other Deadpool trailers were just hinting at the very end that Wolverine's in it.
Yeah.
This is the first one where we just see Wolverine.
It's about Wolverine. Yeah.
And it just looks very much like the old Wolverine story, that he comes from a timeline where all the X-Men are dead. He probably killed them.
It's Old Man Logan.
Old Man Logan. Yeah.
It's because in Old Man Logan, Mysterio tricks Logan into killing all of the X-Men. And that's Old Man Logan's background. I think instead of Mysterio, it's going to be Nova.
Yeah. But is this, okay, so we also see Lady Di from The Crown is playing this character. Nova. I'm curious. I have a feeling that even if they call her Cassandra Nova, because this takes place in the Loki, the TSA, where there's different versions and different timelines.
Mm-hmm. You think she'll be an Xavier variant?
I think this is a Lady Xavier time variant. I think that's how they're going to run this. But they might still call her Cassandra Nova.
I actually think they're going to do the Xavier tried to kill me in the womb thing.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I guess we will see. I guess when it comes out, we'll see which one of us is right.
But you know why? Right. I think I'm right because you'll never be able to do this. Do you know she's coming out of a big Ant-Man skull? That's her base. Did you notice that?
Mm-hmm.
and that's from Old Man Logan. Pym Falls is a town that is made entirely out of a giant Hank Pym skeleton.
But why does that add to your story that she's Cassandra Nova from the womb? A Mumundrai? You think they're really going to try and explain the Mumundrai?
I think I think they'll just say it was like evil twin instead of Mumundrai.
Okay. We'll see who wins.
We'll see.
Let's mark this in our memories so that when it comes out, one of us gets to gloat.
So Evil Jeff says that Cassandra Nova in Deadpool and Wolverine will be an Xavier variant. I say she'll come from a universe where Xavier tried to kill her in the womb and it didn't take.
All right. So we'll see who wins out.
But did you see the other characters? Did you see Azazel and Lady Deathstrike from the previous movies?
Yeah, that was cool.
And Toad?
Yeah. Was that the Toad from the which from the original X-Men movie?
Yeah, it's Ray Park.
The guy who was Darth Maul?
Yeah, Ray Park. Yeah, Darth Maul. Yeah. I peed next to him once.
Did you see
Huge
his dick?
Yep.
Oh my God, that's so hot. I recently saw, I don't know, there's a band, my favorite band, The Magnetic Fields, 25 years ago. I saw them perform their album 69 Love Songs. It was a dual night concert. They decided that this year they're touring on the 25th anniversary. They're redoing it. And so I got to go with Naveen. We went to the double night concert as they re-performed the 69 Love Songs.
Wow.
25 years later, it kind of fucked me up because it was a very much like, I feel old, but it was also nostalgic, but weird seeing them all look old. But the reason I'm bringing this up, it was at the Ace Theater where I saw a lot of Trixie and Katya shows. Their men's bathroom, these stalls, the urinals are packed right next to each other. Like there is no even attempting to hide your wiener. Like even if you didn't want to look at a wiener, you have to. And I miss those.
You have to.
I miss a good urinal, like, or a good trough where you're right next to each other and you get to have a little like, you know, how's your business doing down there?
The other one, the other celebrity dick I saw at a urinal is Andy Roddick, the tennis player, because we were both at the UCB theater in New York. The old one that was in the basement. Oh, so nice. It was like perfect. It was like perfect.
See, the only celebrity I got to see pee was Lily Tomlin.
How's her dick?
Huge. No. It was just, she went to pee in the women's room while I was in line, and a fan left the door open to the women's room asking for an autograph. And she's like, I have to pee. And the woman is still talking to her as she went into the stall. And so the stall, I could see her pulling her pants going down to her ankles as she was peeing.
Wow.
And I turned to another faggot because I was going to see Sandra Bernhard. So it was all fucking gay people. And I turned to the gay guy next to me. We looked at each other and we're like, we're watching Lily Tomlin take a piss right now. This is the best thing ever.
I went to see Jinx Monsoon and Ben Delacreme 2 Christmases ago, and the theater had a unisex bathroom. So it was men and women in the same bathroom. And as I was walking out, Paula Pell was walking in and she was holding like 4 cups of wine. And I look at her and I go, can I help you? Can I hold like 7 of your wines? And she cracked up. She went, no, I'm good. And as she was walking in the stall, she went, 7 of my wines, which I didn't hear, but my husband did. And my husband comes out and goes, Paula Pell was just entering a bathroom stall laughing about 7 of her wines.
Famous SNL writer and star of Girls 5 Ever, Paula Pell. Thought you were gave you the giggles. You should get a job.
And my husband knew that like it sounded like a Brett joke that she was laughing at. That's being married for 20 years. I know, right? Friends. Yeah. All right.
Anyway, we were talking about peeing a lot. And we're done with Wolverine. We're done with the Deadpool. Anything else about Deadpool?
Oh, no. Anything else about Deadpool? I don't think so. Do we need to hit the X-Men music again?
No. All right. Yeah, let's do it. Hit the X-Men music.
I was reading X-Men comics in a cocktail bar. That much is true.
Yeah. All right, we're back. And this is another thing where I decided to go to the back page to look at the order. I decided to look at the order of which one I should read this in.
And it's Forever first.
And let me go to it right now. And it says that you read Rise of the Powers of X first.
Oh,
and
shit.
then X Forever. But guess what? That's not the order.
Right.
Why? Why? So once again, I'm reading it out of order.
First?
Yeah, Forever, the stuff in Forever happens first, and then right after is Rise of the Powers of X.
Fucking shit.
I am fucking, like, get your shit together.
Oh, yeah, because they're showing you, like, they resurrected Sinister, and I actually think, like, the Sinister reveal is supposed to be a surprise, and then they show you do it in Forever. So the Sinister reveal happens in Fall or Rise.
Okay.
I mean, again, they're doing that bullshit.
I hate it.
Bullshit of like telling everything out of order.
I hate it. And
it's not clever.
This whole. Have you seen the previews for the next book? With Xavier talking about dreams.
Oh no, I have not.
It's basically a reference to House of M. And it's him being like, you know, I had a dream and I wanted to do these dreams. But wait, let me read what it says. I want to get your opinion.
Is it the panel where it's like him as the professor and then him as...
Yes.
Yeah. It's all the same pose, but different looks. Yeah.
Dreams are real. They live, they breathe, and they die. When they do, they can break people too. And then it's Xavier going, no more humans, in reference to no more mutants. This is crazy.
Sorry, but isn't he doing this to kind of buy the X-Men time?
You're saying that you think he's really doing this, but here's the thing.
That's been my takeaway for this week. Is that
he's really killing humans. And I think
he sure is.
He's really killing humans. And I also think he's doing this as a failsafe of like, well, if the X-Men can't figure it out, I'm willing to sacrifice all the humans. And it's just so antithetical to all of it. And once again, it's the same problem I have with Beast is Xavier is bad. Xavier has always been bad. He's always been problematic. But the reason he was problematic because he would do anything and sacrifice anything for the dream. The one thing he would never sacrifice is the dream. And so now he's like, oh, I'm just sacrificing the dream. It doesn't make any sense because he was like, I'm willing to go against all of my morals and all of this shit for the dream. So I'm hoping maybe you're right that there is some kind of underlying thing, but he has murdered a shit ton of humans.
I mean, that right there, we're done. I mean, he's off the rails.
I'm just not liking this. And who's writing this?
It's Jerry Duggan.
Jerry Duggan. What else did Jerry Duggan do? What are the other books he did?
A lot of the stuff we loved. He did Marauders.
And Hellions. Did he do Hellions?
No, he didn't do Hellions.
Who did Hellions?
Zeb Wells.
And then who did the Uncanny X-Men leading up to it? Rosenberg?
Yes.
And has Rosenberg done anything else in the X-Men since then? I feel like, I don't know, maybe I miss him. I don't know. I feel... we really like him, but I think maybe when it comes to overarching plots, he's in over his head. I think he's in over his head. And I love you, Jerry Duggan, but this is not it.
That has been what I've been thinking the past few weeks is he's a great writer. I love his work. There've been a few missteps, but this is too much for him. The thing about the opening of Krakoa is they were a team. And by they, I mean the writers. You had Hickman as the lead, but then you had this like squad that were all doing pretty great things under Hickman's vision.
Hickman was the showrunner and they were all the writers. And
but it was their ideas.
And so now he's kind of acting as the showrunner. And it's like a Game of Thrones moment where it's like,
but he's also
once
doing
the real
it all
material
himself.
runs out and you're doing it yourself, you don't have the...
I mean, you've got Kieran Gillen also, but...
Which one is he doing?
Forever.
forever. Yeah. I think that's not great either.
Because it's all plot. We've talked about this. It's just getting them to the next status quo.
Yeah. And this is where it's just interesting of like the fact that the amount of emotional connections that are happening in X-Men 97, zero of it's happening in any of these. There's only one book that's dealing with emotional connections and stories. Iron Man.
Kind of. It hasn't been lately.
Not lately, but at least it set up a complex relationship between Emma and
it put them in an interesting
and it's the same thing. The reason
place.
Nightcrawler's comic worked is because it was dealing with the complex relationship he has with Mystique and then finding out who his real mother and father is. Also, the most interesting thing with all of us, the only relationship worth exploring right now is the fact that Destiny and Mystique have a falling out and she's trying to like get back to her. All of that is like, those are the nuggets of interesting, but it's like, no, plot point. Now we're on Sentinel City. Now this thing. You have to ground it in people making real decisions and that are true to themselves. And right now, everybody's making decisions because it'll be a cool twist.
Right. Yes.
Anyway.
Also, one metric that this kind of has taken a dive as well is X-Men Forever started off with a very interesting relationship with Sinister and Destiny. And now that all of kind of those gaps have been filled in and we're starting to know like what all that meant, it's kind of like, oh, okay. You know, like they resurrect Sinister and he's like, why did you resurrect me? And she's like, because you're a mutant. I told you we should be on the same side. And I'm like, oh, that's what that meant? Okay.
Yeah, that was so anticlimactic. Also, there was no real reason that they should resurrect him.
Well, he is the one able to get them out of the white hot room.
But did they know that before they resurrected him?
You could write any of these people to be able to get like Destiny could be like, only I know how. Jean could be like,
I think if they were like, I think the only person who can get us out is Sinister. No, they were like, we need to resurrect Sinister because he's a mutant. And then he's like, actually, I can get you out of here. And I'm like, no, it should be the reverse. So let's just talk about this comic. I predicted right. Yeah. He shoots Rachel, kills her, releases Mother Righteous. They fucking kill Rasputin. And
wait, what book are you in?
You're in
Rise?
Rise.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Sorry, I had Forever open.
And then he kills her. I guess she'll be resurrected?
Who?
Rasputin?
Yeah, she winds up in the White Hot Room.
Is she in the White Hot Room? Do they show her being resurrected?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't even remember. And then he hands in Mother Righteous to Orcus. And then basically they resurrect Rachel, and then here's the other thing though, is I guess, does everybody now have instant memory from the moment they die since the Scarlet Witch?
I guess so, yeah.
So she gets resurrected. She's fucking pissed. She needs to get the Phoenix resurrected. Xavier's kind of dealing. There's that whole scene where they're just like, we need to know which scientists might betray us. And Xavier points them out and they all get their heads exploded. Didn't like that.
What's the point of that?
It's all just like gross. And then she's like, well, these are Orcus people, so you don't mind them dying. You need to kill more people. And then finally, Moira goes to talk to him, but the Dominion's like, don't talk to Xavier. And then I guess in the end, they just like, oh, the way we can save reunite the Phoenix is by just setting on fire. Am I correct?
Killing her. Yeah.
By killing Jean. I was also confused as they were like the Dominion was like, I got rid of the Phoenix. How did the Phoenix die?
I don't know.
Because Jean didn't have the Phoenix. So I'm curious.
I think he means Jean is the Phoenix. The Phoenix is Jean. But I think he means like she is dying. She's as good as dead.
So then she would be the only access to the Phoenix.
There's the other thing. How do all these people know, like, how to control and manipulate the Phoenix. It's like, oh, okay, no, we're just gonna do the Phoenix plan. Oh, the Phoenix plan. Okay, the Phoenix plan. Yeah, okay, so die. Like, what are the rules here?
Yeah.
But obviously, it's like Jean has to die and come back.
Yeah, and in this also, the only person who makes sense right now, is really Moira. Moira comes in being like, Xavier, what the fuck are you doing? You're betraying humans, huh? And in a weird way, he's like, this is the one thing you wouldn't see coming.
We never tried. Right.
We never tried killing all the humans. Yeah, maybe because you shouldn't do that. Anyway,
the other thing is like Sinister figures out how to get them out of the White Hot Room into Earth,
and they
using
fly
giant
through these flowers. I hate it.
Like, what?
It's so gay. And I don't mean gay as in homosexual, but I mean gay as in gross.
I don't know.
But then all the Dominions are texting each other, which also all the Dominions are texting each other being like, uh-oh, the Phoenix might get together. We need to stop it.
They're like, if that fiery bitch shows up, we'll show up. The Dominions are planning on jumping the Phoenix. like 8th grade girls.
Yeah. And then we have X-Men Forever, which is kind of showing Mother Righteous leaving the White Hot Room, but Xavier kind of takes over. And he is kind of being like, this is all part of the plan. I need you to help. It's
like,
part of the plan.
I need you three to lead. Right. I need Destiny, Exodus, and Hope. I need you to lead.
So it does seem like that gives me hope that, there is a plan behind this.
Yeah.
But still, at what cost? I don't know.
Yeah, everything is like leading up to the Phoenix stuff, and he's doing whatever it takes to just get the Phoenix thing happening, essentially. But that, but again, killing humans is a big part of that.
Yeah. And so then we have, I do like that there still technically is a council, which is now just Sinister, Hope, Exodus, and Destiny. But then Rachel comes in, and she's kind of like the voice of reason, but everyone else is like, hey, we hate Xavier, but hey, if it's us or them, we probably do need to survive. And Rachel is like, what the fuck is going on? This is insanity.
And she's like, oh, Phoenix. Oh, okay.
And then we get to do you want to talk about this Kafka moment?
Yeah, so this was the thing I wanted to talk about, actually, is like they make it super clear that they're not bringing everybody back. They're bringing only the popular kids. They're bringing only like the people who've been on an X-Men team before.
Yeah.
And so thousands of mutants they're just leaving them in the White Hot Room to eat these fucking sweet potatoes till the cows come home. But as soon as he was like, yeah, no, it's cool, we'll stay here and eat these tubers, I'm like, oh, there's no way that they're staying there. But like all of these mutants will be saved. I'm sure there will be an Atlantic Krakoa. Like, I do think Krakoa will still exist. It just won't. We'll never go. It'll be like Genosha.
Or is this them being like, there's too many mutants, let's get rid of all of these other mutant characters? So
I would think that, but it was the line where he's like, I mean, this is all there is to eat here. I was like, okay, they're not staying there.
And then
we're not going to leave them to just eat sweet potatoes for the rest of their lives because we don't know what to do with them in the books.
Yeah.
They'll be saved and they'll be shelved.
So then we get to Hope goes to where Jean is, sparks the fire. The Phoenix kind of rises up.
And Jean's like, it's crazy.
She's like, live from New York. It's Saturday night. But she's like, the Phoenix, it's died before, but it's never ended. It's fighting it. Can you help it? And she's like, with a gun. What the fuck are you doing? What is she doing with the gun?
She's going to shoot the Phoenix with a bullet.
She's just going to shoot Jean Grey in the head?
Just shoot Jean.
And then that's going to make the Phoenix die and then come back to life?
Hell yeah, it is, because we said so. That's why.
Oh my God. This is not good. It's so
whatever
convoluted.
you need to do. Whatever you need to do, Marvel.
Oh,
can we talk about the cartoon?
Hold on, I just want to read some of the comics underneath this issue. Here's one comic. With the power of my holy Glock, I, Hope Summers, aka Mutant Jesus, daughter of Cable, and maybe the Phoenix Force, will kill the Phoenix in its own domain. Bullets, my only weakness. How did you know? Let's talk about the cartoon. Let's hit the music. Hit the X-Men theme music. All right.
Okay, now let's talk about good X-Men stuff.
This shit. It's so sad. But also
it's so
Rogue,
tragic.
Let's give I don't know what the acting awards we
Lenore
give
Zan.
for voice actors, but Rogue and Storm need to win Emmys.
And I have a new one. Bastion.
Well, that's only been, let's give it some time. But is that just because it's the hot guy from White Lotus?
I had no idea it was the hot guy. And I ended the episode turning to my husband going, I am obsessed with this voice performance. Like, this is, for some reason, I'm like aroused, and he's comedic and he's sinister. Like, who is doing the voice of Bastion? And then I looked it up. I was like, of course, it's the hot guy from White Lotus 2.
Yeah. But Rogue,
it's incredible. But Rogue, yes, Lenore Zan, who used to serve in the Canadian government, by the way. She was like in Congress after X-Men the Animated Series. Yeah.
It opens with Gambit's funeral. And
can we talk about Nightcrawler's eulogy?
It was a little heavy on the card gambling references.
It was, however, it was beautiful, and there were some really good, outside of the puns, there was just some really good, like it wasn't just punny wordplay, it was smart wordplay. The line I'm talking about is, related to his control over kinetics. He had such interest in potential. And I was like, fuck, that is a good line. And then the other one, every gambler has a tell. Modesty was Gambit's. It was just so good.
And his ex-wife and the other, thieves were there.
Was that Aurora?
Who was his ex-wife?
Belladonna, but who was the one with the black and white hair? The blonde was his ex-wife.
There too, right? Wasn't she there?
She was
I don't
there.
know who the other one was.
Yeah, I'm wondering, was that Aurora? It looked like Aurora.
Again?
Of North Star and Aurora.
Why would she be there? Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't.
This is okay. This is what I'm saying.
I don't know. It might be a character that was in a previous cartoon, like one of the previous episodes that we.
I'm pretty sure it's Aurora. Like, that's what Aurora looked like in previous episodes.
All right, well, maybe she fucked Gambit too. Who knows?
She's fucking Gambit too.
Yeah, she speaks French. It's like Cajun French and Montreal French. Fucking.
There you go.
Anyway, Rogue isn't there, and Jubilee's all mad, being like, I also love that Wolverine is now considered he's a member of the X-Men, that he's in the front, in the front credits as an X-Men. Storm isn't even back with the X-Men yet. She doesn't even get a solo thing in these opening credits, but Nightcrawler does. I love it. But Nightcrawler is like, hey, because Jubilee's like, Rogue didn't even come. What a fucking bitch. She's not even here for the funeral. And Nightcrawler's like, she's dealing with things in her own way.
Grief is a lonely road.
And the other thing that I did not realize is that it's already been established that they're brother and sister.
Oh, later on.
Yeah, so I can't remember if that was specifically addressed in the cartoon previously, but I guess it must have been.
Yeah.
But he's like, everybody deals with grief in her own way, and she's dealing with it by trying to find Trask to murder him for murdering her two boyfriends. She's like, look, I was in the middle of a love triangle, and now it's a love point. Like, it's not even, it's a love dot. you fucking asshole.
Now I'm in a love dot, and it sucks.
And I love it that she goes, starts attacking this place, and they're like, "Oh, this place, the Hulk can't even get into this." Well,
and that was Thunderbolt Ross.
Oh, you're right. You're
that
right.
Was William Hurt.
Red Hulk.
Well, yeah.
And guess what? Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and Rogue is as strong as Hulk. I will tell you this: power levels have been. We'll talk about upgrades of power levels. There's because later on we'll talk. There's no more Jean going, on. Scott. Remember when when Jean tried to like control Juggernaut, and then she's like, no, now she's fucking throwing buildings, but we'll fucking get to that in a bit. Rogue bursts through this shit. Basically, he's like, I just need to know where shit is. Give me names. I need to know people. And then on her way, she ends up getting stopped by one Captain America,
who's kind of on the same mission, but he's doing it his
way, which is fucked up, is like, hey, it still isn't good optics for me to be working with a mutant. And I'm like,
all of this with the optics.
What? Because even Scott told him.
Optics will come up later.
Scott is told optics. Was that the president he was talking to? Or
yeah, it was Senator Kelly.
Oh yeah,
Senator Kelly.
Yeah, that being like the optics now. Because I love the idea, like we just genocided a bunch of mutants, so the optics right now make us feel like, oh, you guys might like that. We feel like, oh, the mutants might be wanting to get revenge, so we don't really want to associate with mutants.
So
that is the opposite of what should be happening, and it's also kind of what happens in the real world.
A little reflective, yeah.
Anyway,
so that doesn't work out, and Rogue has probably the pettiest moment I've ever seen
with the shield
in a superhero thing, where she throws Captain America's shield miles away.
Like, go fuck yourself,
go get
bitch. She's like, oh, you're not going to help? Bye. Go catch, fucking dog.
So petty, and it's exactly what I would have done.
And she's in that place, and she's in that place of pure, she feels the only thing that's going to make that hole get filled that she's feeling is revenge. And Nightcrawler knows, no, that's not going to work.
And you think later on, you actually think, and we'll get to it, that she maybe got over it through the power of family, but no.
So what happens? Yeah.
Oh, one other thing is when she was fucking up the tanks and everything when she first started attacking, those were all her moves from Marvel vs. Capcom, the video game. Oh my
God, that's amazing.
Like that kick, that was her entrance.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I didn't even put that together. That's great. Also, I feel like this episode, the animation got even better.
Even like better if possible. The emotion on characters' faces,
the showing of the fight scenes, the depictions of powers, it's the best I've ever seen. This puts like What If to shame.
Yeah, it kind of does.
So fucking good.
And What If is great.
I mean, so good. But meanwhile, we're back on Genosha. Trish Tilby's there, and then Beast.
Oh, I love this.
But Beast, they have a moment, but then it's kind of broken away. And Beast gets upset. Yeah. And it's a little moment, a little darky Beast moment.
A little bit.
Not fully. Sure, but it was that little spark of him being like, maybe we shouldn't have been helping you all. Like, this has all led to this.
Well, this is what this issue, I mean, this is what this episode is about. This is the first time the X-Men are like, wait a minute, am I kind of like fuck the dream?
Yeah.
And that will culminate later in the big Rogue moment. And the rest of the team's kind of non-reaction to the Rogue moment.
And I do think this is this is the horror of war, not to get like political or anything. But as soon as you kill another side's children, all rationality leaves. And that is why all of these wars continue, because as soon as your children die, you are like, you're evil.
It's just anger and rage.
I need to destroy you now. And that's where it all becomes an endless cycle because every side is killing children. And there's just no winning. And it's just so sad. But they go there hoping to find Madeline Pryor.
There's a great conversation, though, before that with Jubilee and Sunspot, where she tells him he has to come out. And she gives a speech that's about, what if you were here? Like, what if you were one of these bodies and your mom has to find out that you're a mutant this way and she winds up burying a stranger? Like, you have to come out. Bo DeMeo came out and said that he got that from somebody's post-Pulse nightclub massacre, an interview or something where he took those words directly from somebody talking about the importance of coming out in the context of the Pulse massacre. So this is like a direct reference to Pulse, which, thank you.
Let's go through their story real quick, because then they end up flying off to tell his mom, and she's cool. Like, I did like the thing where it's like, just take your time, ease into it, and just sharp cuts. I'm a mutant.
Yeah, I'm a mutant.
And she's like, honey, I know
comedy.
you've burned down 3 of our mansions. And he's like, oh. But then she's like, yeah, it's great. But you just can't let anybody know.
But how do we keep this private?
It a secret. Mm-hmm. And it was just very much like, oh, I accept you, but don't let anyone know. This felt very gay coded. Also.
All of Roberto's stuff feels very queer
where it's
coded,
just not that he's queer, but just the mutant queer metaphor.
No, but yes.
Love that. But meanwhile, Scott is there hoping to find Madeline Pryor. Jean and Scott are kind of coming to terms with, I think Jean needs to come to the fact that he's not in love with another woman. He's in love with your clone who has your same memories. Like, you know what I mean? I think it's a real. He
had a baby with her.
And someone that he had a baby with her and not you. So he had special experiences with her that he did not have with you. And so the idea being like, well, I'm the real one, so you need to just forget about her. It seems insane to me. And I know we can't put it in our head, but if I was like, oh, Joe is cheating on me with who? And then I found out it was like literally my clone with my memories, I would be disappointed, honestly. I wouldn't be mad. I'd be like, what? Just another me?
Oh.
Hello. But suddenly Jean gets a flash and she's like, I'm picking up a telepath. And so at this point, Brett and Jeff are, here she comes. Here comes Emma. Here comes Emma. They pull out Emma Frost from the rubble. Beast is like, oh my God, she's in diamond form. And she makes her little quip. I've always been able to survive under pressure. And
I've always done well.
And then they carry her off. So here, and then this is where she's done. I think she's done. She might show up here and there to help out with something, but your hope that she's going to be on the X-Men team and there's going to be new flirtations, no.
I don't know about the new flirtations. I do think she will be on the team.
The fact, because I will tell you this. People were saying, no, he doesn't hate, the showrunner doesn't hate Emma. He just hates that she was with Scott. No, because that's not it. I will tell you this.
He hates her being good.
He hates, okay, fine. And that actually ruins, because her resurrection in a way with her mutant power is such a beautifully done scene in Grant Morrison's comic. And he decided to erase that and do a quip. Let's talk about the way they find her in Genosha is they're like, she's like, I'm picking up something. She comes out in diamond form. The first time we see her in diamond form, holding Negasonic Teenage Warhead. And she's like, this is Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Please save her. Save her. And they're like, dude, she's dead. And she's like, you're diamond. What the fuck is going on? And she's like, unacceptable. Please save it. Do not worry about me. Save the children. Save the children. Save the children. We didn't get any of that. We get, I've always been able to survive under pressure.
Yeah.
Like just a fucking.
We get a flat character that like we get clearly a character that this show is not investing in.
So I think it's done. But
I don't. I do think they had to take her somewhere. I think we are in a story that is all about the lines now of good and evil mutants have been blurred. Like it is them versus all of us. I do think she is going to be part of. She'll show up,
but not. But I think not in the way you want. She's not going to be in the opening credits as a character. But I'll tell you this: with him being fired and season 2, I can't imagine season 2 will not be.
He's already done season 2. Season 2 is done, and it was done under him. He was fired after he finished writing season 2.
Well, maybe they'll rewrite it and put Emma more prominent in it.
Yeah. No, I do. I think she is going to, like, we're clearly investing in Emma, but I mean, there's a reason they did it anyway. You know, it's like, sure, we're not going to get we need you to really care for this character right now, but I do think she'll come back. There is a reason they're doing this. They probably did bring her back to the mansion as the one survivor. So you have a diamond form Emma Frost in the X Mansion right now. I do think we're going to have a Beast moment. I do think we're going to have a Jean conversation. I see it happening. I don't think we'll have an Emma Scott, but I do think we'll have all of a sudden there's a villain on this team because that's the world now.
I'm hoping for that. We'll see. All I know is if the opening credits at any point pop up and you see Emma Frost, I will be dead of a heart attack. Like I will not have known what happens after that.
One other thing though I want to suggest about this show is I really do think we are going to get a significant lineup change because if we're doing Operation Zero Tolerance, do you know what happens at the end of that? Scott and Jean leave the team and we get Marrow, Maggot, and Cecilia Reyes instead.
If that happens, I will set fire.
No, we're not going to get those 3. We're not going to get those 3. Listen, don't take this so literally. Like Scott and Jean might leave and we're going to get new, like never seen before. But the idea then, if Scott and Jean leave to do their own thing and then Storm is the leader. But then you don't have an Emma Storm team, that's
weird. Then it would be Emma would be this, because usually when they leave, the Psylocke would be the telepath that enters the fray. Or so if not, it would be Emma, but it would be Emma then. Then Emma would be the psychic. I like.
Because Operation Zero Tolerance, Bastion puts that bomb in Cyclops' chest, and then Marrow and Cecilia Reyes get it out. But he's like on death's door. So Jean takes him to Alaska and they leave. So I'm saying if we're probably going to be down a telepath.
That's true. All right, let's keep our hopes up. But let's get back to they heard about basically Trask is like basically invited them to come to Madripoor.
He's like, it's more fucked up than you think. Come to my office. So
they go to Madripoor. This is where Rogue meets them there. Nightcrawler has a moment with him being like, you need to like, you know.
Oh, that was after she sucked out Gyric's memories and had a blackout.
Yeah. So basically he's like being like, we're here for you. And, you know, just showing her that family matters and he's her brother. And
yeah. And so you think like Rogue is okay.
But then they find Trask. Trask is about to. They also see that there's advanced technology where there's like these cyborg sentinels that they haven't seen before. And that are being like grown in like tubes or whatever.
Like from the future, like tech from the future.
Nimrod. But so we see Trask basically about to kill himself. Rogue flies being like, no, what you did, you need to give us more information. And he's like, I've told you everything. And then it just cuts to her and she's like, well, that's a damn shame.
Well, he goes, I have nothing. And she goes, same, sugar.
Yeah.
and drops him.
And fucking drops him.
What a fucking line.
As he dies, it opens up. He's a sleeper sentinel.
Well, before that, though, before that though, the X-Men's reaction, so many people were like, Kurt, Jean could have easily moved.
Yeah, none of them did. They were like, what are we doing? And then Morph is like, is this what we are now? And Wolverine's like, she did what we all wanted to do.
Yes.
I think.
And that's like this great gray area that they're in, that Beast was experiencing with Trish Tilby. Like, do we believe in peaceful coexistence?
I will say this. I have always hated, and I brought this up just like 2 weeks ago, when they're killing a bunch of low-level soldiers, and then they get to the head and they're like, we don't kill. No, that's the one person you should kill. Maybe don't kill the low-level soldiers because they're probably poor and acting under orders and are brainwashed. Maybe the person who actually is in charge of murdering all these people should die. I think he should die. Right. It's fine.
Have the moral dilemma about the henchmen.
Anyway, he turns into a sleeper sentinel. He blasts the fuck out of Rogue. He blows up the building. Jean Grey's like, he's like, I'll get the debris. You get the building, Jean. Okay. Jean just fucking throws the top half of a building into the water.
Jean also she also had Scott and she had the debris. She was like, okay. So she, and then she handled all of it. It was amazing. She throws the fucking building.
Yeah. I want them. And that's the thing is, if you also look in that previous thing, she was in that river holding back all of the water and doing like psychic memories in the water.
Yeah.
Like, and we all saw when she first showed up and kind of got her memories back and stopped that Inferno danger room scenario. She has been leveled up, and I want them to address like, hey, you used to pass out just for like cutting a fart when reading a mind. What is going on?
It's so awesome.
Oh, Scott. Oh.
She is a boss bitch now.
So they are fighting, and it looks like they don't know how to beat him, but someone throws like an electromagnetic grenade, and it's Cable, and he comes in with those eyes, and Jean sees it in his mind. And I love that Scott. Here's the thing that I love too: Madeline and Scott. They both have met Cable before in the old comics, but they did not know their son. But they had that son, and they could recognize their son's eyes immediately in Cable.
Immediately.
And that really, like, that's so fucking powerful. They didn't need to read his mind. They saw his eyes and they're like, you're my child. Oh.
But then when Jean reads his mind, he goes, get out of my head.
You're not her. Which is also, if you think about that, that's the opposite of what happened in Inferno. Because in Inferno, when she became the Goblin Queen, Nathan starts telepathically reaching out to Jean. And that's what sparked her telepathic powers back. Because Jean did not have any telepathic powers. Yeah, and that was what sparked her telepathic powers to start working again. I found that, and because they really wanted to establish that Jean kind of is the real mom, because even in the future, was like Slim and Red raised her, so she's the one that ended up raising Cable. But in this, the fact that he's like, you're not my real mom, and he's like, I don't have.
And you know what? That's what I think is going to happen. Instead of the bomb that goes in his chest in Operation Zero Tolerance, I think they're going to give.
Sorry.
You okay?
The boyfriend is calling me. Go ahead. Just wait, Jesus Christ. Hold on. Let me text him to leave me alone. Hold on. I'm recording a podcast. Stop calling. Anyway.
My prediction is that they're going to give Scott's going to get the techno-organic virus, and Cable is going to have to take him into the future, and Jean's going to go. So I think that Jean and Scott and Cable are going to be going into the future, and that's how they're going to leave the team.
Oh, interesting.
Otherwise, why do all the cable stuff, you know?
Well, I also am still feeling like, are we really just having Gambit be dead? I still feel there might be a time thing where he's like, I can go back and try and do it one more time.
No. Ooh, I have a theory about that too. No, you could be. Yeah, I think like there's Cable is here for a reason. And I think you could be right. The other theory is they keep showing Cable fighting Apocalypse in the opening credits.
Oh, the four henchmen.
What does Apocalypse do? What does Apocalypse do with Gambit?
Is he
I
war
can
or
see
death. He's death.
He's death. I can see Gambit coming back as death and there being an Apocalypse.
Was Angel
storyline.
already turned into death by Apocalypse in the cartoon?
Angel, yeah.
Was he death or war?
Yes, he was.
No, he was
yes,
death.
that was an
Okay, yeah.
death. And that did happen in an old season. So I can see Apocalypse coming back with 4 new horsemen and Gambit being death.
That would be, I love that. But here's the thing though, is we then see them talking about, it's not just Sinister, it's another person behind it all. And that's where we finally meet Bastion. And Sinister and Bastion are talking. And do you think in this, Bastion is just one of, is it, because I guess, because Bastion was created in the Siege Perilous, which this doesn't exist here.
No, but he did say, he's like, you villains of old have failed so many times. He's like, what you would do is my roadmap to what not do. And then Sinister goes, you used to be one of those villains of old. And he goes, yeah, but I evolved.
Yeah, so, but is that just a reference to being Nimrod?
Yeah, I think they keep showing Nimrod standing inside Master Mold's chest.
Yeah,
in the
so I
opening
guess it
credits
was.
too.
So
that's
do you
when
think
knew
it was a Master
Bastion.
Mold Nimrod and then merged into a human
I
form?
do.
Okay.
Yeah, but I
do you
just
think
don't
it
know
was
how.
Sinister and Trask worked on that to make that happen? But they did say it was
probably.
like this was future technology.
But that's, I mean, because Nimrod.
Oh,
would have
Nimrod.
brought that
Right.
back.
Nimrod is from the future.
So I wonder, is it not Siege Perilous? It's Sinister.
Okay, that makes sense. Do you think that Bastion is the final big bad, or do you think there's another one?
I do.
Because people are like, we think there's
No, I
one
think it
above
ends at
Bastion.
Bastion.
I was like, I think that's too many steps.
No.
I think people are wanting Onslaught, and I'm like, I don't think that. I think that's too convoluted.
Oh, I heard people are wanting Nova and like they have to set up Deadpool 3. I'm like, no, they don't.
Not in the cartoon. The cartoon takes place
says?
in 1997. Right. Give me a break.
Right.
Yeah, I think in another season we can get Onslaught or Nova in other seasons, but I feel this is like we got it. Like we have enough villain. We have Sinister and Bastion, and we already killed Gyrick. We killed Trask.
We're good. What do we need more for? Like, let's just stick to this story. It's clear we're doing Operation Zero Tolerance. It's Bastion.
I wouldn't even mind if Sinister actually found a way to save, or like if we're doing the Horseman thing, that Madeline Pryor is like famine or some shit.
Famine, yeah.
Like that would be like it would be Gambit, Madeline Pryor, and then who else has died? I don't know, but we does seem like Xavier and Storm are coming.
We'll see. Dazzler, Shaw,
Callisto.
Yeah, Xavier's coming back. Storm's coming back. I think so. It ends with Bastion.
Oh, he has Magneto. Magneto's not dead.
Yeah, and he's shaving Magneto with a straight razor to the Purple People Eater song.
What was that about? I thought it was like, is he cutting his face off to wear his face?
No, I'll tell you what it's about. But first I thought this is so Tarantino. Which
with the like Reservoir Dogs.
Like, that is genius.
Cutting the ear off.
Was like, they did a reservoir. Yeah, they did like with the song, that was such a great late 90s vibe reference. So good. I think that Bastion is going to brainwash Magneto. I think he's getting Magneto ready for his big debut. He's going to brainwash Magneto. Magneto's going to be super evil, destruction everywhere. It's going to be the thing to really make humans be like, okay, we need to wipe all the mutants out. Xavier will come back. Xavier will have to fight Magneto and maybe even do the Fatal Attractions thing, which is erase his mind.
Or maybe maybe they have that huge fight and have a huge psychic fight and blow up and you think they're dead, but it actually creates onslaught.
Oh, yes.
And that leads to the second season.
So I do think that's probably where we're going. Like we'll get Xavier Magneto showdown.
Or it would be, it's like, actually, let's
season 2.
Voltron our powers and join together and then we can beat Bastion and then they beat them. But then it's like, and then they become Onslaught to stop them, but then turn evil. That would be kind of funny.
That'd be dope.
Anyway, the show's amazing. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's just like it's keeping us on our toes. Like we think we know what's coming, and it's like, no, we're not doing that. We're doing this instead. It's better. I'm like, fuck, it's better.
It's so good. Just need these comics to. I really do feel like I honestly, and I know it's like a money thing, but I really would love it if it's like, let's just do 4. That's it. 4 comics.
Yeah.
And really just let it be those 4 comics and let them, and also let the comics, let them not kind of interact with each other. Because that's the thing is New Mutant, when it was back in the day, when I started reading it, it was Excalibur, Uncanny X-Men, X-Factor, New Mutants. Those 4.
Right.
And they, once in a blue moon, would cross paths.
And when they did, that's what made it exciting because they rarely did. So when they did, you were like,
but otherwise they were in their own little world, and they were in their own little world with 8 characters.
They were focused.
8 characters, 7 characters, 5 characters. And so that comic had time to explore relationships, all of these other things that these other comics are like, no, but this needs to lead into this and this needs to lead into that. And then I only have 5 issues to get to this. It's like just taking, they're ruining it. Take a breath. Let the, I told you I was like rereading the Rogue joining the X-Men. And there's no way in hell, like it took like 15 issues of Storm slowly getting more and more fucked up and not knowing who she was to when she got that mohawk. And I feel if it was done today, there would be one issue where she's like, guys, I don't know what's going on. And then the next issue, there should be like, I have a mohawk. You know what I mean? And you're like, you need to earn it.
Yeah.
I feel like
you need to earn it. And the cartoon is doing it though. The cartoon is balancing.
I'm so sad that it's also making me sad how Chris Claremont, I always wonder what the X-Men world would be like if Jim Lee and all of those people left for Image before Chris Claremont was fired. Because they fired, Jim Lee was like, Chris Claremont was like, it's either me or Jim Lee. And they were like, Jim Lee, bye. And like a few months later, Jim Lee left. Like if that never happened, I'm very curious of like what the X-Men world would be like.
Yeah.
Because
didn't he say like what he was going to do?
Well, that's what those other comics were. But by that time he lost his ability. I think the bitterness affected everything he wrote after that. So you can't trust him.
Yeah. The sense of ownership was gone.
All right. I think that's it.
Oh, okay. I did see a preview for the Destiny and Mystique wedding special coming up, and Chris Claremont is in the audience at the wedding.
Is that part of the regular comics? Oh, so I guess they forgive each other.
Oh, and you have like Storm as one of the bridesmaids. I'm like, so she's cool with them? Okay.
I know, right?
So dumb. It's gotten to the point where if it's not Wednesday, I don't know why I'm alive. I just want the next episode.
See, luckily, because I'm on the West Coast, it premieres at midnight.
Oh, you get to see it at midnight. Oh, I have to wait till Wednesday night.
Why Wednesday? Oh, because you have to
wait for Jeff.
Right.
Because I have to wait for Jeff. Yeah.
I'm sorry. But you know what I'm not sorry about? Reading comics.
What? Yay.
Because reading comics has made me the man I am today. And the man I am today is gay. Because guess what?
Yes.
If you read comics, well, then that makes you queer.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Shazam.